A couple of wide receivers have been named as potential trade candidates. And I know everybody's thinking, Brett, the Patriots got Diggs. The Patriots drafted Kyle Williams. They signed Matt Collins. Well, we're going to talk about some potential trade candidates that the Patriots could get at wide receiver on today's show. Welcome to Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Brett Alper. And we look at the Patriots wide receiver room. I mean, we could say that it's improved, 110% improved. But when you look at some of these wide receivers, Kendrick Bourne, Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, Kayshon Boutte, there is still a lot of room for improvement. And I like what we could do with some potential wide receivers at a spot where we could trade for them. We got our free agents. But you can always throw in some guys that are in a contract year. Even with a wide or a large quantity of wide receivers, you want quality over quantity. You want 4 great wide receivers. You don't want 10 just okay. And I think there's definitely room for improvement. And I got 3 guys that could potentially really improve this Patriots roster. Now, the first guy on my list, I don't really know if they're going to trade him. I think it could be a possibility, but it's Chris Olave. And it's been rumored all throughout the offseason. Chris Olave could be traded. Trade candidate absolute number 1, Chris Olave. Oh, he's going to the Pittsburgh Steelers right before Rodgers signs with them. If Rodgers signs them. I'm not 100% sure, honestly. And there was an article that was named about Chris Olave, and a Patriots insider suggested that the Pats should try to trade for Saints wide receiver Chris Olave. It was Sara Marshall of Musket Fire. She's a great read with every single article that she does. And she gave some really good reasons on why they should trade for Chris Olave. She said, considering the moves the Saints made in the draft, and Carr's retirement, obviously, Derek Carr speaking, looks like a decision that has been brewing, but there's a chance they're open to making more significant roster decisions, knowing the 2025 season is probably a wash. I mean, they're going into 2025 with either Spencer Rattler or Tyler Shook as their quarterback. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be a wash. Although he's the offense's number 1 wide receiver as it currently stands, the Saints might be in sell mode and will want to add as much draft capital to their stock as possible. That could mean they'll want to trade perhaps their best asset, Olave, and the Patriots could happen to make a great deal. And if you look at Chris Olave, I know he has the concussion problem, and that is the big thing about him. You don't know if you're going to get a healthy Chris Olave, but I'll say one thing. Last year, they were throwing a bunch of hospital balls to this man. He was going across the middle and just getting his head taken off. And when he is healthy, this will be his 4th year in the NFL. And you could see those first 2 years, 72 catches, 1,000 yards, 87 catches, 1,100 yards. He is a very productive wide receiver, and I think he'd help Drake May. I think he'd really help Drake May in a sense of you're putting Stephon Diggs on one side, Chris Olave on the other, and then Kyle Williams in the slot. But the big question truly is, what would it take to get a guy like Chris Olave? What are the Saints going to want? Are they just going to have a fire sale where they throw everything out the door and say, screw it, we're going to suck. We might as well tank for the number 1 overall pick and get that best guy, whoever it may be, in 2026. Is it going to take a first-round pick? I'm not 100%. And I think that the Patriots could get only use a little bit of draft capital. And Sara Marshall also had something to say on a potential what it would cost. And she said, of course, the main issue with the trade will be the asking price, because Olave was the 11th pick in the 2022 draft and has lived up to the hype. I mean, 2 out of 3 seasons with 1,000 yards receiving is incredible for a guy this young. It's fair to assume the Saints will want a first-round pick in return. that the Patriots would have to decide if that's worth giving up plus more, which could deter them from ultimately pulling the trigger. And that I agree with. I'm not giving up a first-round pick at all for Chris Olave. I don't care how good you are. You can find a diamond in the rough in the draft, which I think they found in Kyle Williams. You can go out and sign a free agent that's out there. You have $67 million in cap space. Amari Cooper's right there. I know he's not Chris Olave and he's a little bit older, but are you going to be willing to give up a first-round pick for him? I'm not about it. I'm not about it. I'm all for keeping your first-round picks unless you're going out to get an absolute superstar. Like, hey, Trey Hendrickson, if the Bengals only want one first-round pick, I'm doing that in a heartbeat. I'm not going for a guy that has a huge concussion problem. I think he's got at least 2 or 3. I'm not doing that in any way, shape, or form. So I'll ask you guys, would you trade for Chris Olave? Type T for trade, type P for pass. If you want to trade him, if you are willing, if the Saints are willing to just give up Chris Olave for a third-round pick, I'm all for it. Go for it. But a first-round pick, it's just not. There's too many risks over rewards, especially with his concussion problem, and I'm saying no. I'm sticking with Stephon Diggs. I know he's coming off an ACL injury, which is very tough to come off of when you're in your 30s. So I'm just I can't do a trade for Chris Olave. I'm a big fan of his. He's quick. He's a great wide receiver. But if he gets another concussion, he might be done for his career. Honestly, he might be done. Before we get to a couple other trade candidates, let's hit a milestone on today's video. Look at that, 25,299. It should be 25,999. We are just one away. And I need one sub. Just one. I'm switching that for you right now for you guys. We need one sub to get to 26,000. Can we do it in today's video? Hit that big red sub button. I'm trying to hit this 26,000. We've been trying all week long, and I think we can do it in today's video. All right, the second guy. It's a Titan. Treylen Burks. And this is like a first-round draft pick in 2022. You replaced A.J. Brown. You traded away A.J. Brown and replaced him with Treylen Burks. And Treylen Burks has been an absolute, and I mean absolute, disappointment for the Tennessee Titans. This is, 2024, I know he had a knee injury, but 4 catches for 34 yards and no touchdowns. Just absolutely no. And Bleacher Report had a big article about possible trade candidates, and that's where this video topic came out of, and Treylen Burks was number 1 on that list. And if it's up to me, I am saying hell no. They said one way or another, it feels like Burks' days with the Tennessee Titans are coming to an end, and soon. His tenure with the club has been marred by injuries, with the lack of production, missing 24 games and recording his 53 catches for 699 yards and 1 touchdown in 3 seasons. And I have one word for this. One word to talk about. Should the Patriots trade for Treylen Burks? And the answer is no. 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 Absolutely not. This man is a bum. He cannot stay on the field. He cannot catch the ball. He cannot run routes. Yeah, he's a little bit of a deep threat. If you throw a bomb up there, then maybe he'll come down with it. But overall, from what he's done in his tenure with the Titans, has just been mediocre at best. I do not want him anywhere near the Patriots. You can see from his career stats, this man can't stay on the field. Why? I don't. If the Patriots ever traded for Treylen Burks, I would probably crash out because I think he is one of the worst wide receivers and one of the biggest round one busts I've ever seen. We drafted N'Keal Harry in 2019 in the first round with A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf right there. And I get it. N'Keal Harry, the refs screwed him against that Chiefs game a couple years ago. But Treylen Burks is half the wide receiver N'Keal Harry was. And N'Keal Harry, I don't think is in the league anymore. I mean, 16 receptions, 33 receptions. His career stats in 3 years is 1 career touchdown and doesn't even have 1,000 yards. I know you guys don't like me screaming, but you're going to get that if we ever traded for Treylen Burks. There is no reason you can keep your draft capital. It would be a disaster waiting to happen. And the one thing that really kind of bothers me a little bit is there's a lot of Mike Vrabel bringing in some Tennessee guys, and I could see him possibly thinking, oh, we could fix him. He could, he needs a fresh start. It's a disaster waiting to happen. You give up draft capital for this guy? No. You're wasting it. This isn't a we can fix him type move. It's just not going to happen. He's injury prone. He can't catch the ball. He can't run routes. Not a fan of Treylen Burks. Sorry to Tennessee fans that are watching this video and getting offended by this. And they made a whole bunch of moves. I think the Titans will probably cut him. They have Alec and Manor. They have Chimere DK. They signed Xavier Restrepo, who I truly think is a Julian Edelman or Danny Amendola kind of replica. They have so many wide receivers, they're just going to throw him away to the side. They declined his contract for his 5th year. And when that happens, you're probably on the verge of not being on this team in the upcoming season. Just no, for the love of God, absolutely no. Before we get into our last one, which is one of the most intriguing ones, I got to tell you about this sale that I found going through Fanatics. It's this Patriots t-shirt. I need new shirts. This is from Super Bowl, Super Bowl 51, all the way almost 10 years ago. And you can get this nice Nike shirt, a mirrored Nike shirt for $15.99. $24 off. You got to go to chatsports.com/PatriotsT. We'll put it in the comments and description of today's video. If you want to rep the Pats, if you want to support the show, you want to support the sponsor, go and get your Patriots shirt today. I got a ton of Patriots shirts. You see every single video, I'm wearing something different. Go get your own gear. chatsports.com/PatriotsT. All right, the last one I got, which I actually really enjoy this signing, and I'm a big fan of this guy. Or would be a big fan if we decided to trade for him. It's Christian Watson, the wide receiver out of Green Bay. I'm a big fan of his, and he is a gigantic wide receiver target. I mean, 6'4", 208 pounds. He's coming off ACL surgery, and that's where all of these kind of bunch together, and you're like, do we want more injured wide receivers? We already got one wide receiver coming off ACL injury. Do we want to try to take that chance with another? But Christian Watson, solid wide receiver. I always thought that he was going to be Jordan Love's number one target in Green Bay, and I think he would help Drake May tremendously. Sara Marshall, we talked about her earlier in the show. She said something about Christian Watson. And she said Watson is entering the final year of his rookie contract this year and could easily be traded to another team before the Packers decided if extension is worth it. They may have already made up their minds drafting Matthew Golden in the first round of last month's draft, which could be a very good sign for New England. And I know Christian Watson hasn't been the number one target. You have Romeo Doubs out there in Green Bay, but he is still a solid wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, and a deep threat at most. In 2024, 29 receptions, 600 yards, but the one stat that sticks out to me the most, it's 21.4 yards per catch. That means he's just going out there and just running post corners, go routes, everything over just deep downfield. And the Patriots, they need a deep threat target. I know they signed Matt Collins. I know Kayshon Boutte still has a little bit of deep threat in him, but 6'4", you could go out and just throw up a deep bomb. We know about Drake May's cannon of an arm. Throw it up there. Hey, F it. Christian Watson down there somewhere. Throw it up, and he can go to the highest point and catch the ball. This one really, really intrigues me, and I think you could get him at a solid price, maybe a 4th round pick. I know if you're willing to get rid of a 3rd, I said for Chris Olave, which is just not happening. That's not happening whatsoever. They're going to want a 1st for that, but a 3rd or 4th for Christian Watson on a contract year, that's where it really intrigues me. And yeah, it would just be an absolute, it would be a real deep threat for Drake May. You have Kyle Williams coming out of the slot, over the middle. You got Stephon Diggs on the outside, and you're just saying, hey, Christian, go. I would love that. But is he going to be, the real question is with the injuries and an ACL, but he's still a very young guy. He's only going into his 4th year. Is ACL surgery, is he going to be that same explosive wide receiver? Obviously, your vertical is going to be affected by your knees. Can he still go up and get it at the highest point? And the one thing that concerns me is he's in a contract year. And what I mean by that, it would just be a rental. And I don't think the Patriots are going to be contenders in 2025. I think they're going to be a good team, 9 to 10 wins, 8 to 10 wins around there. Do you want to give up draft capital and sacrifice your future for just 1 year of Christian Watson? Because if he's great, he's going to want to go out and get a new contract, go out and get paid. And are the Patriots, I know they have a lot of draft capital or a lot of cap space with $67 million in cap space. Do you want to go and spend all that money on Christian Watson? And if you don't, then do you want to give that up for just a 1-year rental when you're not even going to be contending for a Super Bowl? That's where I really am I probably wouldn't make that trade. If he had 2 years, 100%. But one in a contract year where he's going to be a free agent, where he could just walk right after, and then you just gave up a 4th or a 5th or a 3rd round draft pick, and you lose him. It's not worth it. But if the price is right, if they're saying, Bob Barker, if the price is right, if you can get him for just a low end draft pick, or maybe throw in a couple of just low players, I would do it in a heartbeat. Get Drake May that second deep threat. Get him a 6'4" wide receiver that you can just absolutely just throw it up and hope he can come down with it. I would be 100% for that. So now I gave my 3 wide receivers that could possibly be potentially trade candidates. Name a wide receiver that you would trade for. It could be anybody. I don't care who it is. If you want to say, let's go out and trade for A.J. Brown, let's do it. Let me know down in the comments of what you got. What wide receiver would you guys trade for? And also, don't forget to subscribe. We're just one single sub away from $26,000. So hit that big red sub button. And if you want to talk some Patriots with me, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram @TheRealAlper. And as always, let's go Pats.